How to grow your hair out. That is the topic of today's video, YouTube. And the reason I'm doing this video is because I keep getting countless amounts of messages and comments and this and that, all asking the same thing that I've been talking about for years now, which is how to grow out your haircut. So what I'm going to be doing today is showing you a variety of different haircuts and how to grow your hair into other different types of looks. Say, for example, your haircut is like this, and any mannequin you see that you like, yes, I've already done a video of the haircut, so just browse my channel, and they're all there. So you've got a haircut like this, really relatively short, and you want to grow a mullet. How do you go about doing it? Well, the first thing, and this is quite honestly the most important thing, find a stylist or even a barber who knows hair really well, and they know how to grow someone's hair out. That really is the key, is to have a vision. All right, here, just listen to what I'm saying. Have a vision of how you want your hair to look, and that professional who's doing your hair needs to be on that same page and has to know how to help you achieve that look. Now, keep in mind, and this is a very common thing that we face as professionals, someone shows a picture saying, I want this, but their hair is, something completely different, that it's just not going to work. If you've got super curly, kinky, wiry, hair and you want a haircut like this, most likely it's not going to happen. A lot of it is common sense. I know it sounds crazy, but a lot of it is common sense. If your hair doesn't look or feel or lay or flow like other haircuts that you want, and you say your hair is a mess, chances are you're probably not going to be able to achieve that look because your hair texture is not right for that look. That's really, really important to keep in mind. Another thing, guys, if your professional does not understand all of these things, it's time to find somebody new. Right? I've been doing hair for 25 years now, and if someone comes to me with a haircut problem or an issue or this and that, I know how to resolve it. You need to find someone who knows hair and can help you achieve the look that you want, if you can get that look. First thing is, aside from finding the right person and the vision, is the proper haircut to get in order to grow your hair out. Now, if your hair is on the shorter side like this, all right, let's go a little bit closer. If your hair is on the shorter side, around here, it's buzzed in the back, and you do want to grow your hair out longer, what you need to do is you need to find the longest points of your hair. What is currently the longest? Is it in front? Do you have an undercut? You need to either leave that alone and start to just grow everything out and have it grow into something a lot longer like this. I know it sounds crazy, but it's really common sense. Keep growing your hair until it is long enough to do the style that you want. Just keep growing it. Everybody's like, oh, how many inches is it? It doesn't really matter. As long as your hair is long enough to do what you want, then guess what, guys? It's long enough, okay? Doesn't mean that, 5 inches on this head of hair is the same thing on somebody else's hair. It's kind of like, well, their hair texture is different, their hair shape, the density is different. Everybody's different. So, although there are hair types that end up being exactly the same, obviously, because that's why there are a variety of hair types, but it really comes down to it may not be ready yet, So grow your hair as long as it needs to get to look like this. Once it gets to a certain point, right? Say, for example, your hair on the sides is like, the hair on top is really, really long, right? The hair on top is really long. Let's say something like this. This is a true undercut. Right here, all right? It's completely disconnected. Say the top of your hair is really, really, really long, but you want to start to grow out the sides. Well, you could do two things. You could either trim the top up to make it look shorter, and then just continue to let the sides grow in and be patient. Use some product on the sides, play around with how you style it, whatever you gotta do, but you just need to create a shape on top that is going to look flattering as the sides grow out. That's really, really, really key. Maybe just clean up the sides. A great little tip is, when you go to get your hair done or your haircut, have the person just say, hey, look, I'm trying to grow my hair out. Just clean up around the ears and the neck. That sometimes could be the best thing to say to somebody, because most professionals can understand that, you know? I'm hoping that nobody would hack that up. But if you say to someone, I'm trying to grow out my hair, that's always key, because when a client tells a professional that, the professional usually is kind of like, oh, sometimes they freak out and they're like, I ain't cutting like hardly anything. And it actually helps them not cut more hair because they're nervous about cutting too much. So tell them you're growing your hair out and only clean around the ears to keep it looking neat while you grow it out. If you say that, it's up to the barber, but that usually does help a lot. Now, here's another one. This is the haircut that I did recently on the Perfect Layer haircut, and also the Anakin Skywalker haircut that I did. Now, once again, if you've got, say, an undercut like this, and you want to go to more of a feathered, layered look, the best thing you can do is to get your hair like this one, to put in the shape of the layers, and then let the sides grow in. Because what you're doing is you're then starting that flow, starting that layering, so that as the hair on the sides grows in, it'll eventually sort of catch up to this, and then you just learn how to style it different ways. Play around with how you style it. That's another key thing, is styling your hair a bit differently to help make it look like it's not just a haircut that's growing out. Try different styles, try different products, experiment with your hair routine, and that could also help out quite a bit too. One thing to keep in mind though, a lot of times, like for this, if the hair is too long in the back and gets too straggly, like the next part of this whole video is, when do I actually get my hair cut if I'm trying to grow my hair out? Well, that really depends. You need to make sure the most important part of the haircut that you really want is not really cut. The parts that you don't want, that you want to get, that aren't part of the look, cut those. So for example, if you're trying to grow, you've been growing your hair out for like 8 months and it looks like this, and you say, you know what, I want the top to be layered, but like I've been growing it out and it's just a big mess, looks like a mullet. Well, guess what? Leave the parts that you like, and then have the stylist or barber trim and get rid of the part you don't like, and that's where you create the shape. See what I mean? Like, so it's okay to get your hair cut if you're growing something out, as long as you're cutting what needs to be cut. You don't want to have your hair cut and you're telling someone you're growing your hair out, and then they chop it off and it's like 2 inches long on top, and that's just a horrible, a horrible barber or a horrible stylist. If they're hacking your hair and they can't simply understand that you're trying to grow your hair out, and they just take clippers and just completely hack it off, well, unfortunately, it's time to find somebody new. Stop experimenting, stop wanting to spend $8 for a haircut, and try to find someone who knows. That's when you need to invest. It's someone who really understands hair. So that's pretty much it. I guess, again, don't be so hung up on how long does the hair have to be, because again, everything is different on everybody. Have it long enough to where it starts to look like the style. If you have a style like this and you want an undercut like this, well, guess what? If this head of hair is 8 inches long and this is like 3, you keep growing your hair to where it looks like this. And it may not even be the same exact length. It just looks like it. So that's what you really need to focus on more, is not about how long the top or how long the sides are. It's really just how it looks, okay? I'm trying to think if there's anything else I could talk to you about when it comes to this video. Again, just communication is key. Finding the right professional that knows how to help you, that can help you grow your hair out. You need that support system. Unless you're just gonna grow it out yourself and keep growing it and hope for the best, and then 6, 7 months from now down the road, then you'll get a haircut and your hair will be long enough to have that look you want. But it really comes down to having a good support system and a good strategy, and what kind of style you're trying to achieve. Let me know in the comments below if you found this video helpful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time for more videos with the Salon Guy.